What's up, guys? Back here the week before the NRL Hunter match in Belt, and figured we'd share some of my issues that I've had in the last few days.
Jared goes on a rifle rant
Oh, man.
podcast.
Jared's,
Inbound.
Jared's slightly mellower than he was the past 72 hours. So I'll just jump right into it. I got my 284. I built this gun. It's a 284 and a 300 Norma. Long action. I have a way that I set it up for NRL hunter matches, and I run a 284. We've also hunted with it. We've talked about it in the past. I've shot a bear with it. You've shot a elk with it. Yeah. And then I could change it from like that flush hunter mag to a 10-round AICS mag where it looks like a big banana clip hanging out. I got some comments on that, but yeah, it's been a hammer from the day one. That thing's been an absolute hammer. And so we're filming this we're filming this match for Defiance and Co. Mm-hmm. And in my head, we've got all these other projects that I'm focused on, but the one I don't need to worry about is my 284 to shoot this match. Me and Serge we've been talking. He's shooting a 28-inch 6.5 PRC. And we wanted our dope to match up pretty close. And I was like, no problem, it'd be good. I did some load development when we were setting up the barricade. I shot it a few times, it was hammering, doing great. And then the last time we went out for Brandon's gun build, I shot a 0 with it. I'm like, that doesn't look great. And then, so I kind of had in the back of my mind, I need to figure out what was going on there. Went home, cleaned it, put it all back together. And then sure enough, it's stringing right to left. And so while you were gone, I went back out to the range 2 days in a row, and I'm like, I got to confirm. I got to make sure that this is what it is, because otherwise, like, this isn't going to work. Sure enough, both days, it just walked right to left, and it actually kind of turned into more of a low right to high left. And the first 6 shots, but the last time that I shot it, the first 6 shots moved 1.9 inches in 6 shots, and then the group stayed around there. And so I'm in straight panic mode, because I've got to get a gun ready. You offered your 6.5 Creedmoor, which would
I'm like, pick up the 6.5, dude. No big deal. Life's good.
Yep. You offered that, and I was like, normally I would just do that, but Serge is a little bit more preparer than me. He likes. I have not shot as many team matches as him, to be fair, and he likes dope ideally, but for sure wind matchup. So when whoever shoots first, you come off, it was 4-10s, it was 4-10s, right? And he likes that. I get it. So I'm like, I can't do the 6.5 Creedmoor. It's going to be too slow. It's not going to line up. He was planning on running 144s at 29.50. And so then now I'm in what do I do? Trying to find, if I got another 6.5 PRC barrel, I was like, it can't be like a 22-incher because he's running a 28. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to make up 6 inches with extra powder. And so talking with everybody, Seth jumped on Owen's website, Front Range Precision. He had a 26-inch. So I call him up right away. He's like, dude, I'm in Idaho Falls right now at a soccer tournament. I'm like, that's great. When you get home tomorrow, this is on Friday. This is Friday that I'm talking to him. I was like, when you get home tomorrow, I'm going to rally up to Helena and grab that barrel, and I'm already going to have rounds loaded. So I took some of the 6.5 PRC rounds that I had, or brass, and I just loaded it. I just took a stab. I've always ran 56 grains of whatever in a PRC. Well, that ended up being a touch hot, but I had 100 rounds of that to shoot yesterday. So yeah, so 26-inch 6.5 PRC. Serge and I both had 153.5 burgers, and so it's like, that'll be great. He's running them. I tried to get him to tone it back to like 2,900-ish. Yeah. He ended up at like 2,980-ish. And I'm like, all right, we'll see what this will do. I ended up, over the first 100 rounds, I gained 80 feet a second. Start with 56 grains at H1000. I was at 2920 average. By the end of the 100 rounds, I think my last shot was actually 30-10, but I think 3,000 was probably the average. So it gained like 80 feet a second over 100 rounds, which I'm feeling, hopefully it's kind of stabilizes there. I've got another test to rally out today, go shoot, and just see where it's at. And learn some stuff, learning stuff, because then I found out that my die the old school die that I had, because I had a 6.5 PRC way back in, I don't know, 2018 or something like that, 2018 or 2019. And that die used to work great on that old chamber, but now the reamers are different. So my die is not sizing the web enough. So I got clicky bolts like crazy, on top of being a little bit over pressure yesterday with those 100 rounds. It's been an experience in the last 72 hours trying to get ready for this match.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, not to scare people away, but there's just a lot that goes into rifles when you start talking about precision, like shooting well at distances, which we see the repercussions of people not understanding that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like 8 out of 10 YouTube rifle hunts, people are just not, like, you can just tell they don't understand the system.
Yep.
They don't understand how to shoot their rifle super well. Occasionally you see good shots and it's awesome, but
yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I mean, even like you get a reloading die and you have it screwed all the way down, it's not bumping the shoulder, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know? There's just a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, a lot of little things. And it's really funny, like with the PRC, like I'm going to tell everybody to go buy a 6.5 PRC or a 6.5 Creedmoor. One of those two. Get one of those. You'll do great. Kill everything that you shoot it at. But there's been some issues. Like I said, I dug in deeper on that last night, and the reamer designs have changed. I think Alex Wheeler has the AW2 reamer specs out that a lot of guys are using, and the old reamers don't size the web enough, and so that's where mine's an old reamer, or an old die. Sorry, I said the old reamers don't size the old dies do not size the web enough, and so you'll end up with these clicky bolts after a couple firings, and this brass has 3 firings on it. So yeah, there's a lot of little pieces, and then like to the shooting that we see, like all these little things, it's you can be ignorant and have the variables counteract each other sometimes, and it works out awesome, and you think you're a rock star. And then other times the variables stack. And if it's your dope, maybe it's a combination of Coriolis, aerodynamic jump, and the angle that you're shooting at. Now all of a sudden, instead of you just like being slightly high, now you missed the critter. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they counteract each other and you hit center punch it right where you aimed. But yeah, hopefully guys take that when they miss to dig in deeper, because that's where it's like, it's easy, but it's also, you need to account for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no one's going to understand what Jared's saying, because probably most people don't understand anything you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Do you want to dumb it down for people? So there's actual educational information.
Yeah, let me so like,
because I know that like I wouldn't have known like a lot of that stuff for a long, long time. Yeah, I think most people listening have no clue what you just said.
Yeah, so those 3 variables I talked: Coriolis effect, aerodynamic jump, and then angle composite, whatever the trigonometric function is. So Coriolis effect, the Earth is constantly rotating, and so it's rotating from west to east. If you are shooting to the west, that target is rising the whole time the bullet is in the air. Mm-hmm. Does it matter at 1 to 300, 400 yards? Mm-hmm. No, not enough to matter. Like, you're going to be okay, but you should still take it into account, because we're trying to center our cone of fire over the target, because it might make you trend maybe down a click or up a click, right? But regardless, so if you're shooting to the west, Coriolis effect is just the rotation of the Earth. If you're shooting to the east, the target's dropping away, so you need less dope. If you're shooting to the north or south, the target, it's that Coriolis shows up in windage. So if I'm shooting to the north, the target is moving to the right, so I need a little bit of right hold to account for that. This is on top of the wind that you're also holding for. So that's Coriolis effect. So again, for instance, if you missed a critter high, maybe you're shooting to the east and the target was dropping away the whole time the bullet was in the air. So now you're going to be a little bit high. And then aerodynamic jump, most of us are shooting right twist barrels. There are left twist barrels that you could buy, but that's pretty rare. Most of our barrels are all right twist barrels. And so if you have a left to right wind, the surface of the bullet that wind is acting upon is the left side. And if it's the bullet spinning this way, the bullet is pulling itself down the wind. So if you have a left to right wind, you need more dope. If you have a right to left, it's going to climb the wind. Mm-hmm. So back to our example, if you missed high, so Coriolis effect, and you're shooting to the east, target's going down, you're going to hit a little bit high. Maybe you had a right to left wind, even a slight one, it'll still show up in in some it'll be a little bit higher. So you have a right to left wind. Aerodynamic jump's going to make that bullet a little higher now again, right? And so, and that might be, maybe on the Coriolis it was a half a tenth or whatever distance. Well then, and you should have trended down. And then the aerodynamic jump, you should have trended down again. And then maybe you just have maybe 10 or 15 degrees or so down at an angle. So your linear distance, your line of sight was 500 yards, but the linear distance you should have shot it for, maybe it was 470. Mm-hmm. So there's another click again, right? So maybe you're 3 clicks now, and that's to center your cone of fire over the target. Okay, so all 3 of those variables, they've now stacked to make you extra high. But then the capability of your rifle, everybody wants to say half MOA. In reality, 1 MOA is really what you should be operating off of, right? So 1 MOA gun, if it's 500 yards, that's 5-inch group. But then you as a shooter in the field, under pressure, adrenaline's pumping, maybe you're really a 1.5 MOA shooter at that distance, right? So that means at 500 yards, that bullet could go anywhere in a 7.5-inch. And that's like being generous too, because that's like most guys are not 1.5 MOA shooters.
I was just going to say, I bet 97% of hunters are 2+ MOA shooters in the field.
I would agree. So
if not more,
and we see it all the time, right? So that's what like being realistic. So if
I was a true 1 MOA shooter, dude, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
And that's true. Thousands and thousands of rounds.
Yep.
Like that's a 10-inch plate at a grand.
Every time, yeah.
And that's not happening.
That's not real. Yeah, you're right. You're completely right.
So, obviously, it gets the abilities do go downhill further out, but like even at 500 yards, you're hitting a 5-inch plate.
Yep.
No, you're not.
No.
Like I'm not a 1 MOA shooter.
Nope.
It's true.
It's true, man.
Yep. 2 MOA shooter, yeah, probably.
Yeah. And like whatever 1 MOA, 2 MOA, that's not just horizontal, that's vertical, right? That's a cone. And so if it's say it's a 2 MOA shooter with the rifle system and the shooter. Mm-hmm. So at 500 yards, that's a 10-inch circle now. And now you've had Coriolis effect, aerodynamic jump, and angle that you didn't account for. Mm-hmm. Move the center of that cone of fire high. And this is, again, like you might get lucky and the bullet might hit in the bottom of that. So it's 5 inches below where the center of cone of fire, and you got lucky and you spined it. Mm-hmm. Other times, it's at the top of the cone of fire. So now you're 5 inches high. So you have 5 inches there plus 3 to 4 clicks that you didn't account for because you weren't taking the variables into account correctly. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's where we see a lot of time. Guys are on top of fundamentals of shooting, but guys will be like, man, it was rock solid and I missed it. And they don't understand. Yeah.
Rock solid doesn't always mean the bullet's going to hit where your reticle's at either.
Yeah.
Sometimes rock solid rest has pressures just built up inside of it, waiting for when that gun goes off to relieve them, and now your bullets flying off. It's like
100%.
It's pressure in the rifle. You can have a rock solid rest with a ton of pressure in that gun, and it's going to do crazy stuff when it gets fired.
Yep.
Or you could have the right amount of pressure and good natural point of aim and all the things, and a rock solid rest, and it's going to hit right where you want it to. But I just see people building such bad rests in the field, and they don't practice field scenarios. It's not usually just a perfect prone position.
Yep.
And that is a nice thing about NRL hunter or shooting matches is you get to practice that stuff, but you still need to practice in the field with your gear and downtime. Go find a prop within 20 yards of you and just build a position and dry fire on something.
100%. And watch what your reticle does at the...
Hyper focus on your reticle. When that trigger breaks, I guarantee you, for most people, there's some movement there.
Yep.
It's not just going to be perfectly still on the target.
Yep.
And if it moves at all, just from the actual motion of the firing pin dropping, it will relieve tension in the system, and that's why it will tick or move a certain way. That's what's happening is your bullet's traveling down the barrel, which is why now your reticle or the actual point of aim is different.
Yep. So, for sure.
The reloading stuff we'll get into another day. That stuff I feel like people definitely won't understand because I don't really understand it until you start chambering barrels and
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah,
We'll bring
a
an
lot.
expert on to talk about that. Although you're pretty expert status, but
Yeah,
someone that does it for a living maybe we'll do a reloading deep dive or something.
for sure. Yeah, that's just as far as what I want to encourage people is, dig into all the details. Because I was surprised. Like as much as I know, and I by no means claim to know everything. Because the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I approach most things that way. But I thought I had a pretty solid plan to remedy my 284 solution.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that barrel went out at 650 rounds, blew my mind that it went so fast. But the solution for the 6.5 PRC, I thought I had it dialed, and there was a funny thing that came up. So, I had to react several times the past few days to remedy little problems that came up. But I'm feeling good now. Feeling pretty good. I wasn't still not pumped yesterday, and then after shooting at distance, it shot pretty good at distance. I was really happy actually how it shot at distance.
Nice.
So
Fortunately, most of the shots are 400 or 500 yards.
Yep. And this is the weirdest thing, man. It's so weird. There's still so much like voodoo in guns that we just don't understand. Why's my barrel do this and yours do that? They're the same barrels. Came off the line behind each other, but one of the things that Brian Litt's like, dude's a master, and like he says, if your group is not great at 100, it's not going to get better as it goes further, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you feel better about it. Like looking at the group at 100, it's like, man, this thing's not going to hammer, because like yesterday my group at 100 wasn't great, and then I went 4 out of 5 at 1100 on a 0.4 wide target.
Yeah.
It's a little circle out there at 1100, and I was like, man, that gave me a lot more confidence than my group did at 100.
Yeah.
And so I 100% agree with him, and if I shot it on paper, it probably would have matched what it was at 100 yards. But for some reason, that it feels like it's doing better at distance than it's doing at 100.
Yeah, I think sometimes people shoot better at distance because it's just a more true shot process instead of like this hyper controlled feeling like it needs to go right where it needs to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same as shooting the bow.
Yeah, for sure. I totally
at distance, sometimes you're like, dang, I just zinged. Like, that was a tight group.
Yeah.
I could not have shot it that tight at 20.
Yep.
Because you just focused on breaking the good shot.
Yep.
Like, you knew your pin was floating. Like, at 1100, I'm not worried about, like, I'm going to try to be precise in my aim, but I'm not as worried about it as I am at 100.
Yep.
I'm more just, like, fundamentally squeeze that trigger good, like, pin it, like, watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
So I think sometimes it's more a natural shot at distance, which is why I think it hammers sometimes.
For sure. I could see that.
Or like if you could replicate that at the 100-yard line, you'd like. I'm sure, like, I think Brian Litz has done experiments on like different zoom factors. Uh-oh. We lost our overhead light.
All right.
Well, that's because Jared unplugged
I unplugged it here.
Uh-oh.
What's the other cord? Oh, that's that
That's
guy.
okay.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, should we turn that one on?
It's a temporary timeout.
Whoa.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Fix it in post.
Sorry. We're in the Jank Garage studio.
Love it.
There's some minor electrical difficulties. If we were in the new spot, we'd have so many outlets, dude.
Dude, we put so many outlets in there. It was great.
What's your goal for NRL Hunter and Belt?
Our goal is to win. I go into every match to win. Like I'm not under false illusion that I don't shoot as much as other guys or whatever. But I know that I just have a good mental process. I operate well under pressure, and NRL Hunter is a little bit easier of a thing than PRS. It's really finding targets, and and we're shooting as a team. So Serge and I've never actually met other than over the phone, but he shot a lot of team matches, and I feel like I operate well in that environment. My mentality always in a team match is to assist my partner and like figure out where they're weak and try and be strong for them where they're weak, and vice versa, right? Like try and communicate well. And so I feel like I do that well. My perception of Serge, I think he does that well. He's done a lot more team matches than I have. So I think we'll probably do operate pretty well together. So and our goal is to win. There's some really good teams that are going to be there, so it'll feel like a good win if we get it.
Who are the other heavy hitters?
Nick Adarzi.
Give us the mug shots on them.
Yeah,
the stories.
Nick Adarzi is an absolute stud. He's dominated team, like the RTC in particular, but he's dominated team matches for as long as I've been shooting.
Yeah.
He's been around doing it. Crushes coyotes like crazy and crushes in PRS. He's like absolute stud. I don't know who his partner is, but Nick is one of those guys that makes it that his partner will shoot above their, no matter how good they are, they'll shoot above their ability with Nick. He's he is a very calm presence, and I think that allows people to operate very well. He's a good communicator, and so he's, anytime Nick's there in a team match, I would say that he's probably one of the favorites or the favorite. And then the Walters brothers, Richie and Rhett, are shooting, and those guys, same thing. They've shot a lot of team matches, and they're both good shooters.
Yeah.
So they have the potential to turn it on for sure. And then I think there's another good team out there. Oh yeah, Carson and Cody, Carson, Lilja, and Cody. They've been shooting as teams. It must be 5 years now or something. They've been shooting a lot of team matches. So
it's a good thing Zach Bowden and Logan Summers aren't showing up.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Only thing I'm gonna be shooting is the camera.
Yeah. So I think we've got a good chance, but it'll be interesting. Looking at the weather, it might be kind of light winds, which then
possible rain.
Little possible rain, yeah. We'll see how it goes. So should be fun though. It'll be a fun match. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to shooting with Serge.
Phil shooting?
Man, last I heard he's not. But he was trying to, but I don't know. Last I heard he's not.
Gotcha.
So there's obviously some Alwine's going to be there again, and Owen.
Oh, that guy.
Those two fellers, man, they've gone back and forth on this match. I think Owen won it, and then Matt won it. I can't remember how many times each. Matt's been on a roll. I don't think Matt's shown up to a match and not won it in 2 years. Legitimately in 2 years.
Oh, he didn't win the PRS finale last year.
I'm talking NRL Hunter. Just specifically NRL Hunter. He should have won.
He got like second at the field.
Yeah, he was with a freaking Savage, I'm pretty sure. With a Savage. Right?
Let's do a podcast with him.
I'd love to get him on.
I need to call him.
Yeah. But so there's gonna be the individual side, there's gonna be some studs there. So it'll be interesting to see who takes it. Because I know Owen's a very interesting character, man. He is not front range precision. He does not shoot a lot of matches right now. He's busy. He's a firefighter, I believe. He's running front range precision, but family life right now. They're traveling a lot for soccer tournaments and stuff. He has an extreme mindset. I've heard that he played high level football, I believe, in high school and college, I believe. But he has a winner's mindset. He has a mindset that he won't shoot for a long period of time, and he'll show up and dominate a national match. Mm-hmm. And he's won a little bit of everything. Precision rifle matches, like your heavy gun PRS style stuff. He's crushed in the Vortex Extreme, I believe it was called. It was a pretty cool match down in Wyoming. That was a more physical team match. You're like covering distance and that. He's won. Man, I can't remember how many times he's won that. He's placed very well, if not won Night Force ELR as a team. I can't remember, or maybe he was right up there. But he's and then he's won several PRS and NRL Hunter matches. Like he's again coming off of long layoffs from shooting. He has an extreme mentality that he's able to turn it on without shooting all the time. So he'd be an interesting one to dive into and try and get a little bit more of that kind of competition mindset out of him, how he operates.
Nice.
So he's coming, and he's got that ability. Matt's gonna. I would put it down to those two most likely, right? It could be, if the winds are light, it could be one of those matches where there's a lot of people stacked up at the top.
Gosh, I hope not.
Yeah.
Like hard matches.
I like hard matches too. It's like if you blank a stage, that doesn't mean you're out of it.
Yeah.
Like you have, because everybody's gonna have those hard ones. I enjoy that. So yeah,
Nice.
I think that's the kind of outlook on it. And then we're gonna film it for Ableco and Defiance. Do you have any game plans on kind of what type of story we're gonna tell there? Should we come up with it right now?
I mean, I'm not feeling like those juices are flowing right now, but
No.
you can propose ideas.
The creative juices. Yeah, it'll be interesting to think about what story we're going to tell there. We're shooting Defiance actions, both of us, and we're both shooting Ableco cans.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to talk through some stuff. He's bringing us breaks for our cans. You as well.
Yeah. They might be pre-production. They might be not.
Gotcha.
They're waiting on anodizing.
Oh, gotcha. So here's the thing, like, just speaking about those breaks, I know a lot of people are using them and shooting really well, like Chad and Francis. Those guys are crushing. I think they use the Area 419 Maverick brake, suppressor brake, whatever it's called. In my head, I don't want to be like, oh, this thing's going to act like a brake, but be quiet like a suppressor. Right now, I'm kind of like got low expectations for the things. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a suppressor still, maybe a touch more, and that's kind of my expectations going in. So I'm open to be surprised. But I haven't shot one yet.
It helps.
Does it?
Yeah. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a little better recoil reduction and a little more noise.
Is it a little louder too? I just haven't been around them much.
I mean, I'm still wearing Hearing Pro around them, but they're not obnoxious.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think you'll see it in the trigger cam footage.
Nice.
Should be watching trace and staying on target, even with some pretty, like, Surge's 6.5 PRC is pretty poppy.
Mm. Mine was pretty poppy yesterday.
Yeah.
153.5 set.
Try shooting 28 miles, that's poppy, dude.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about that? 300 normal with 245s, bud.
Dude, I don't even feel like your 300 normal was bad, dude. I was shooting it off the barricade, no problem. Remember way back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let me see that thing.
Yeah. No, it's the good thing. I'll say this with my gun, that barrel going down and having the like. You always, at least for me, I always question myself first. Like, my fundamentals are jacked, and it's walking because my fundamentals are jacked. I've been shooting a match rifle all year, and now I'm shooting a recoiling rifle, one that a little heavier recoiling. It's got to be me. So it was a really good process because you go through and you just tighten everything up, right? Because at first going from my 6BRX, that thing's with the brake, it's so easy to shoot, dude. It's so easy to just stay on target and see everything. And so I went to my 284 and now the 6.5 PRC with a can, and dude, that thing wants a hop, wants to pop over. And so I was able to go back through and just dial my process back in, figure out how I need to address, because I've been shooting a chassis all year. Now I'm back on a stock. So like grip position is different, cheek position is different. Everything's just different. And then you add the additional amount of recoil. Well, man, all day yesterday, like I'm just staying on the target, and a lot of the shots are staying on the dot at 100, which makes me feel really good. Just kind of just fixed my process again, because unfortunately shooting a heavy match rifle, it makes you lazy. Like you're able to compromise and not pay a price for it in recoil management with the match rifle, where the heavy recoiling rifle and a suppressor, you can't cheat it. If you want to see your shots,
yeah,
you'll still hit targets. But it was really good. It was honestly, it benefited my shooting because I had to go through and dial my process back in, and it was really good. And I was seeing everything yesterday. It was great. I was shooting off the tripod. The only thing I did not love my recoil management was with tripod. Just single tripod, I felt really good. I was doing triple pull tripod rear, felt really good, but the only thing I didn't feel great about, I was shooting off the barricade with a bag, forend rested on the bag, and then tripod rear. For some reason, my recoil management was not as good there, and I haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to play with that a little bit more. I don't know what it was about my body position that was different there then
It's probably because you didn't have one of those gamer bags off your stock, dude.
I tried it. I tried that too. I put it on because Surge has one. He was talking about doing. I think we're gonna tack table a bunch. You know, like the Ableco makes the Able tables.
Yep.
I love a tack table, man. Like it's so he likes it too. And so the only thing that I see guys struggle with a tack table is they haven't played enough ahead of time to figure out what the height needs to be for the prop ahead of it. And I've done a lot of practice with that of just like. I know about how high it needs to be, but what's so cool about the Able table,
like tack table rear?
Yeah. Yeah. So triple pole or tripod or barricade, whatever you could rest your, and then instead of doing a tripod rear leg, you just set the tack table or the Able table at the correct height and then run your rear back like normal. Yeah. The thing that I really like about it is you're able to just touch your chest to it. Just like right at your sternum to the tack table.
No, if you got your bino harness on.
I never wear my bino harness ever. Guys are crazy. They'll wear it. Like I see, and like I'm totally wrong for saying that because I know Matt wears it, but I don't. My arm.
I wear mine.
Dude, it's crazy to me. I will never ever wear them in an NRL 100 match. My binos are under my arm right here. I literally just hold them right there, and they're SIG 10Ks. They're not NLs, but whatever. I take pretty good care of them, but I just run them underneath my arm. But when you're running that tack table and you just touch your chest to it, and I still do left knee down, right knee up, and then I'm running a rear support. But man, it is as solid or even more so than prone sometimes when you're able to get your body all in there. It's so I do really like running a tack table. And so when Serge said he was into it, I was like, that's perfect because I like it too. So,
gamer gang, dude.
Oh, big time, man. What's cool? We're gonna run triple. We're gonna be like you, triple tripods, three guys.
Dude, I don't run 3.
You run 2.
I would run 2. I ran 2 for a while and then I stopped.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you feel bad about it?
No.
Was it not beneficial?
I just feel like just be better, is what I say. Just suck less, just shoot straight off the tripod. For 95% of the shots, there's no reason if you didn't build just a good position on just single tripod, you couldn't hit all the targets.
Oh, I totally agree with that. What we're going to, we're 2 guys, 3 tripods. So we're each going to have like our normal shooting tripod. We're going to carry an extra one just to leave glass set up on all the time.
Yeah,
and that's what we're bringing in the third one. Full blown gamed out. But we are going to
win.
We're going to be intentional about. That's one thing with NRL Hunter that I see most guys shooting at a team that have not shot RTC or other traditional team matches where they lack. So your traditional team match, it's called pair fire, where target 1, shooter 1 will shoot, and then shooter 2 will shoot target 1. Then you go to target 2, shooter 1 shoots target 2. And so you're pair firing. And the benefit is that is like you have an instant, the wind call from shooter 1 to shooter 2 is instant on that target, right? Where in NRL Hunter, shooter 1 shoots the whole course, the whole stage, and then you go back. So maybe the wind changed in that time.
But that's where the first shooter gets back on glass and he's like, here's a win call now.
That's my point, that I don't see most guys, or I see a lot of the mid-pack teams not doing that. Yeah. They kind of they're almost shooting it each like an individual. And that's what the beauty of a team match is, like you are, and as an individual, you should be constantly like, hey, wind's going up, wind's going down. And I don't see guys utilize that second set of eyes, especially on binos, because you see better through binos than you do through a scope. Mm-hmm. And that dude, whoever's not shooting, should be helping spot misses, but also making that decision on what the wind is doing. And that's what we're gonna use that second or the third tripod. Nice. Leave it set up all the time with the glass on it. Just that way, if we are shooting off tripods, it doesn't take away the ability to use that.
Heck yeah.
That's our game plan.
Who's the first shooter?
I'm open either way. We haven't talked about that yet. We'll talk about it on the way up. So that's a interesting thing with some guys. Some guys, there's so much ego in all this stuff, and I have ego, of course, but I'm very good at turning it off as well. And I think Serge is that way too. It'll be interesting to talk with him a little bit more, but there's ego around who shoots first a lot of times in team matches. And within the RTC, it's its own community. It's Rifleman's Team Challenge. If you guys are interested,
Is there? What's the ego about shooting first?
There's been this tradition of better shooter shoots first. That's been a thing within team matches.
Hear that, Logan?
But in reality, possibly Logan gave up his ego to make you feel good.
See, I just was like, I'll shoot first because I don't care. Like, if I'm down to be the win B.
Yep. So the thing is that like there's people operate. Seth will tell you that he shoots better when he shoots first because he feels a sense of responsibility to his teammate, and it makes him try harder or something. I think his way or be more focused when he's shooting first. And sometimes when he shoots second, he doesn't. Then now he's just scared of letting his teammate down. There's something that happens.
Yeah, sure.
Like again, so it's definitely you have to find the dynamic that works for you. But I'm very comfortable in both positions.
There's probably more pressure on the second shooter.
You're normally going to be shorter on time.
I left Logan not very much time quite often. But yeah, you already know how to build the position. You already know where the target's at. You already have a rough wind call.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to hit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So yeah, which I don't, if Logan wanted to shoot first and I shoot second, I don't think we really cared too much.
Yeah. I think it's, Logan is very intuitive at helping people. He's good at helping people. He's good at seeing a need and meeting it. And that's why I think it worked good for you guys as a team, where when you're building a position, like he would intuitively, you guys wouldn't even talk. He'd just intuitively like, oh, he needs a tripod. And he'd bring it in or whatever it was. So that's something I have that ability too, just I'm a natural, like want to solve other people's problems, sometimes to my detriment and sometimes to they're like, get the heck out of here, man. But I have that in me where I just want to solve people's problems. And I have a, what is the word? Just like, I'm very observant of things. I'm like intuition on when somebody's like struggling, and I'll just, so that's where I know I could operate well in, the second shooter position, but then also in first shooter position, I'm very confident. The pressure doesn't bother me, and I'm freaking nice. I enjoy it. So either way, however if he feels strongly one way or the other, we'll do that. So
whatever you guys like.
No, it like I said, it's up to him. We'll talk it through on the ride up and see what we decide to do. So that should be good. Nice. I don't think finding targets will be terribly difficult. His matches historically been fairly easy to find targets. You're basically shooting through lanes in the trees, and so he doesn't have like 180 degrees. He just can't put the targets out there because like there's just lanes of trees that you can shoot through, which is really cool. It's great for new shooters because they're some of the inter hunter matches where like people won't even find targets and they'll go multiple stages without shooting a shot. Yeah. Where his matches, like he has very nice placards, so you're gonna find the first target because it's big. I think it's pink and white or orange and white, super bright placards. So you're going to find the first target, and then you're in a pretty narrow lane. So finding targets is pretty easy. There's some that get hidden in trees and shadows and that type of stuff. So, but I feel pretty confident. I'm really pumped on my new 10Ks, the Gen 2s, because they don't have the blue glass. Yep. The laser's been really good. The dope's been spot on. The wind is now, there's a wind buttons on the outside, so I've been really pumped on those. Heck yeah. They've been doing good.
Nice.
So, yeah. Otherwise, it's just figuring out what kind of story we're going to tell with the film that we're going to put out.
Yeah. It'll just be a little hitter.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
We'll go figure it out after we get off this podcast.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's going to be a fun weekend up there. There's a lot of our friends are going to be there. It's going to be a really good time. We're going to be hanging out at the Defiance house, recording some podcasts with them. So I think we'll come away from the match with a good little pile of podcasts to release. See if we hold
more rival content heading your way.
Yeah. Every time you think it's done, there's more.
Nope.
We got
always more.
At some point, we got to get on the bow conversations, but.
Yeah, maybe in a month.
Yeah. What is it?
I probably won't even build my boat till like July.
Most likely, knowing you.
Yeah.
Knowing you.
It's just going to sit in a pile of parts somewhere for months.
Yeah. When do antelope archery results come out? Is it late? Is it in July?
I don't know.
Because that'll really get me fired up. Once I know that I've got the archery antelope tag.
You need to buy your bear tags.
Gotcha. I should do
And
that
wolf
today.
tags.
I'll do that today.
And fishing license.
If
you want to fish.
Is Wolf wide open all year there?
I think that unit's probably open year round. I have to look,
Nice.
but it'll be open when we're there.
Nice. What's the mountain lion
be.
situation over there?
I have to look.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just curious. A lot of predators around.
We're doing a lot of bear hunting in June, so we're trying to stay in shape.
Dude, speaking of which, are you hiking the M tomorrow?
Probably.
Yeah. I need to get an M hike in. I missed it last week. I was sick.
The M hikes, for anyone that's listening that cares, they're sporadic at this point. It was really going to be 4 or 5 weeks this spring just to get people ready for bear season and shed hunting, if you like shed hunting. But we've been continuing to do them.
Yeah.
If we post on our Instagram the night before, you know that we'll be there. If not,
we won't be there.
There might be other people there, but not us.
It's been good. There's been dudes holding it down.
Mm-hmm.
We both missed last week. You were going on a hunt, and I was sick. But
we're shipping out a bunch of hats and T-shirts today. The hats will probably sell out today.
Nice. That's sweet.
Shirts, good altitude shirts. Go buy one if you like us. You like our content. It helps. It's not a lot, but it helps. So do that for us. They're sweet shirts. The blanks are really nice.
They're really nice shirts.
Which I'm happy to see that other companies are starting to make like nicer quality apparel too.
For sure.
Everyone hates a cheap T-shirt.
Yeah.
Or a cheap hat that like. At least our hats you don't really have to break in, which is nice too.
No. They wear in nice though.
Gosh, they're be interesting what they cost in the future now. These tariffs are all.
Yeah.
So get your stuff before we just decide to stop selling it because it's too expensive.
Oh, well,
But
cool.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for this match. So there'll be a lot of follow-up content. You'll know if I met my goal or me and Serge's goal or not.
We'll probably launch a pack dump this week. Mine or Jared's, not sure. So if you're interested in gear, which most people apparently are,
like the gear talk,
go watch that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Just random thought on that topic. All of us have responsibilities. We'd like to be doing our hobby constantly. And I was like, man, why are people so obsessed with gear? But I'm like, man, I'm pretty obsessed with gear. And what it is for me is like it extends my hobby into non-hobby times. I could be thinking about it while I'm at work, while I'm whatever it is that I'm doing yard work at the house. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of fun. Like sometimes it's like guys are focusing on the wrong thing. They need to stop focusing on the gear and focus on themselves, making themselves better. But I get it because I feel, especially when I lived in California, because I was so far away from, like, I wanted to be up here and I wanted to have more opportunity. And there just isn't that much time in the year, especially for hunting season. Like if you're just hunting fall, like hunts, not hunting spring bear, turkey, whatever it is, it's fun because it extends the hobby into other times of the year and other parts of your life. And I get it. I get why guys are so into it.
Gear.
Yeah.
Need the new pieces.
Zach is fully fed up with my camera talk. I'm obsessed with camera gear talk.
Shut up. Just learn how to run your camera, dude.
That's what I was like, no, I need more gear to be able to run. He's like, Zach's fed up with me because
I'm not fed up. I just straight to the point. No, you don't need that. It's like a kid. Like, I don't have kids, but like, can I have this? No.
Dude.
You don't need that
so many fun gadgets out there, and I just want all of them, and they're so expensive.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than shooting, I think. Other than the ammo.
No, I think shooting's got it.
You think so?
Yeah, because like you could buy a good setup, and then you don't have to change anything for 4 or 5 years at least.
That's true. Yeah.
Guns constantly have to be fed.
That's true.
They're little.
Yeah.
They are. Feed me.
They're expensive. They are expensive. But the camera.
If anyone's got a bunch of H1000 they want to sell us for cheap, let us know.
Yeah. That's why I shoot the Varget rounds, dude. I shoot the 223. That's 24 and a half grains of Varget. My BRX is 31 grains.
Let's break into Seth's stockpile when we're up there.
I give him such a hard time.
Give us some, Seth.
Dude, I think he's triple digits on each Varget H4350. I shouldn't be throwing this info out there. He's got a lot of Varget and H4350.
Gosh, some people.
He's stockpiled.
Such a smart guy.
Back on Trump's first term.
We're not.
Trump's first term was the time to buy. So if you're getting into it now, I'm sorry. Because that was a good time to buy. $30 per 1,000 on primers.
How are you supposed to know?
Dude, it was such a good time to buy.
Yeah.
I'm about through most of my stash from that time period. So yeah, trying to make smart decisions.
I never had a stash, so there's
You're a big factory guy though. You've got
not
a
on my
stack.
hunting guns.
You've got a stash of factory.
I've always, for the last 10 years, shot reloaded ammo out of my hunting rifles. Other than my 6.5 Creedmoor, I did kill an antelope with a factory round.
Did you? Nice.
But other than that, it's all been hand loads for hunting.
Nice.
I just don't. In the past, didn't shoot as much.
Not near as much as you are now.
I'm like 1,500 rounds in my first year on that 6.5 PRC.
Nice.
So that's pretty good.
That's really good.
I mean, there was a little bit of factory in there for some of that, but
nice.
that's pretty good.
That's really good.
That's the most I've ever hand loaded for any hunting rifle.
On a hunting
rifle, I don't crossover gun for me, but
I don't shoot that much on any of my hunting rifles in a year. I'm always shooting 223 match rifle, or like ideally you've got a 6.5 Creedmoor to put rounds to. Not that can't be a hunting rifle. I'm going to end up hunting with one. But yeah, 6.5 Creedmoor is like you should be putting. People ask me how they get good, man. It's like, what's your round count per year? And it's like you need the double or quadruple or whatever that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
200 rounds a year is not enough.
No.
It doesn't even get you started.
You're not going to get better shooting 200 rounds a year unless you're really bad. Then you might get a little bit better.
Yeah. But you're not going to get good.
No.
Like in reality, you should be in the thousands.
It don't matter what you're doing. Getting good ain't cheap.
No. Yeah, you just got to get creative on how you're going to make it pay for, or how you're going to save money doing it. Or do it for as cheap as possible.
Or be like, hey, when I dump a giant, it'll be a good investment.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but.
I mean, the animals, there's been a lot of dead animals.
Yep.
Out there, courtesy of the guns. Hopefully a couple with the bow this year. I was thinking about taking my bow for a walk out bear hunting, but considering I only have a couple days, we should take our bows to Idaho, though.
Okay. I'm down.
I'll probably pick mine up the day before we go. I'll do all the things that I say you shouldn't do with a rifle with my bow.
Wait, new bow or this bow?
No, I wouldn't take a new bow. But I'd pick that bow up with it.
That one's
40 and in.
That thing's been shot 3 times in the last 2 years, and it's shot 3 elk.
We'll be dying.
3 shots, 3 elk.
See, I just know my limits with the bow because I'd say I'm catching up now with the gun, but I've shot so much with the bow over the years trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
That I'm like Owen. I just
show up and crush.
Show up and crush.
Nice.
I think. I don't know. I haven't shot it in a while, so I'd have to go shoot it to. I think I'd be all right.
Did you and Sam shoot archery league this year at all?
No.
You didn't shoot archery league, did you? Oh.
Not going into that dungeon. I would, but I just it didn't make the priority list.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Well, cool. That was a good podcast. We'll have a whole bunch of follow-ups after this weekend.
Yeah. So. Signing off.
All right.